Good morning, this is TVP World. You're watching World News. I'm your host Benjamin Lee, and these are the latest headlines. Germany has ruled out the possibility of direct talks between Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Chancellor Merz made the statement during a meeting with French President Emmanuel Macron. The two leaders met Thursday evening ahead of today's Franco-German Council, where the war in Ukraine is high on the agenda. A meeting between Zelenskyy and Putin had been suggested after U.S. President Donald Trump met with the Russian leader in Alaska earlier this month. But Russian attacks on Ukraine have continued, including a recent strike on Kyiv that killed at least 23 people, including 4 children. An F-16 fighter jet crashed during rehearsals for the Radom Air Show in Poland. The aircraft went down in just days before the launch of the country's largest aviation event. Witness footage shows the jet performing maneuvers before nosediving into the ground, erupting in smoke and flames. Firefighters arrived shortly after to put out the blaze. Poland's Security Service Coordinator Tomasz Siemoniak confirmed the fatality. The F-16 pilot who died in Thursday's crash in Poland has been identified as Maciej Krakowian, cosigned Slab. He was a member of Poland's F-16 Tiger demo team. Krakowian was a decorated pilot with multiple honors. He recently received the As a Crow Flies trophy for the best overall flying demonstration at the 2025 Royal International Air Tattoo. The fatal crash happened during rehearsals for the upcoming Radom Air Show. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy has expressed gratitude for European unity following Thursday's meeting with Polish President Karol Nawrocki, the Danish Prime Minister, and leaders of the Baltic states. He shared the message on social media, stressing the need for continued coordination among allies. Zelenskyy also offered condolences after the F-16 crash in the Polish city of Radom.
I thank President Karol Nawrocki for hosting an important meeting. It was a valuable opportunity to synchronize our positions ahead of major diplomatic events. I also thank Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen and Presidents Gitanas Nausėda, Alar Karis, and Edgars Rinkēvič for their words of support and heartfelt condolences following last night's Russian attack. We are also deeply saddened to hear about the disaster with an F-16 fighter jet in which a Polish pilot died. Our hearts go out to the family and loved ones. It is extremely important that we are maintaining constant coordination, working hand in glove to ensure that the united European position is clearly heard in Washington.
A Polish activist is calling for more compassion towards Ukrainian refugees. Sister Małgorzata Chmielewska published an open letter after President Karol Nawrocki vetoed a bill that would have provided public support. The decision means unemployed Ukrainian refugees will lose access to monthly child benefits of around 180 euros and to public health care.
Sister Chmielewska didn't hold back.
I invite you to meet them personally, to look them in the eye and say, "Get lost, kid. Get lost, old man. Go back to where you came from."
And many of them have nowhere to go back to, even if they wanted to return home.
Or should we simply pack them all up and send them back to Kharkiv, Sumy, Mariupol, and other towns, back to the ruins under the threat of bombardment? Of course, at our expense.
Sister Chmielewska has been helping those in need for decades, most recently focusing her work on Ukrainian refugees, particularly children and their mothers.
I asked for an urgent reply because the school year is about to begin. All the children speak Polish. Some were even born here as their mothers fled while pregnant. Some lost their fathers in battle. Others are victims of slave labor, and yes, here in Poland.
President Nawrocki's veto effectively stripped unemployed Ukrainian refugees in Poland of a universal child benefit, worth around 180 euros, and access to public health care.
I believe that these family benefits should only be granted to those Ukrainians who make the effort to work in Poland. The same goes for healthcare.
Sister Chmielewska disagrees.
There are no political, economic, or moral grounds that can justify what has happened. Preying on the most vulnerable dishonors my homeland, just as spreading hostility does. It has nothing to do with Christian values or with basic human solidarity.
Last year, family benefits for Ukrainians amounted to just over 650 million euros. Most of the recipients were employed in Poland. The presidential veto marks a major shift in Warsaw's support for Kyiv.
Poland plans to spend nearly 50 billion euros on defense next year. Prime Minister Donald Tusk says that despite the high budget deficit, his government did not hesitate to allocate a large sum to the military, citing Russia's aggressive posture.
In this budget, we plan to spend 200 billion zloty on Poland's security and defense, and that is what it must cost. This 200 billion zloty is not an abstraction, it is an enormous amount of money. In percentage terms, it is one of the highest shares of defense spending in national budgets worldwide. But we know why we are doing it. The grim commentary on our decision was last night in Ukraine. Unfortunately, the war there is gaining momentum. All the illusions of many world leaders that 5 meetings would be enough to end the war show that they do not know Russia, that they do not know Putin. This war is ongoing and will continue. That is why we did not hesitate and will continue to act this way.
Poland's longest river, the Vistula, is running dry, with water levels at their lowest in recorded history. Still, experts say small practical fixes could help ease the crisis.
Well, it's been a hot and dry summer in Poland this year, and these are the results. The hydrological station just behind us here recorded a record low of 7 centimeters of water in the Vistula River around Warsaw. Many are calling this a disaster. The usual measurement at Warsaw Bulwary Hydrological Station at this time of year is around 200 centimeters. So this is no insignificant drop, and it's not expected to get any better anytime soon.
In the coming days, it will drop to 5 or 4 centimeters, and it is possible that at the beginning or middle of September, it will even be 0 at this hydrological station.
And Warsaw is not alone. This map shows the scale of the problem. Areas in black indicate rivers running below average levels, and they stretch right across the country. Now, these low levels are not just a problem for boaters, barge, and ferry operators whose services have been suspended until further notice, but also a threat to the entire ecosystem.
Such low levels also mean that organic material is not collected by the current. Instead, new islands appear and are stabilized by vegetation. Places where animals can take shelter are also disappearing.
And there's also Warsaw's Siekierki power plant, which heats more than half of the city. It's been having problems drawing enough water from the river to cool its systems. So what's happening? Hydrologists say the crisis stems less from drought and more from human activity. Decades of river regulation and intensive sand mining upstream have deepened the Vistula's bed, accelerating erosion and draining its waters.
Of course, the sand mines cause it to decrease, and so-called channeling occurs. So this main current goes through the middle, so to speak, and is not distributed evenly.
Experts stress, however, that Poland is not facing desertification and say simple fixes could help, from halting river regulation to closing drainage ditches and restoring wetlands. So despite these record lows, hydrologists here in Poland are ruling out any possibility that these rivers may dry out completely. But they do warn that without immediate changes, consequences will be felt and they will continue to run low, which will affect nature, infrastructure, and the communities that rely upon the rivers. For TVP World, I'm Konrad Gorlinski.
A major drug lab has been uncovered just outside of Warsaw. Police seized hundreds of kilograms of illegal substances and arrested 2 men, both with prior convictions.
A major drug lab has been uncovered just outside Warsaw. Police found hundreds of kilograms of illegal substances and arrested 2 men, both with prior convictions. Officers from Poland's Central Bureau of Investigation, backed by counter-terrorism units, raided a property in the village of Żółwin near Warsaw. Inside, they discovered a fully equipped drug production line, including specialized equipment and over 700 kilograms of liquid clefedrone, plus 70 kilograms in crystal form. The street value, around 900,000 euros. Police released this video showing the entire raid. 2 men were arrested on site while overseeing the operation. Both are known to law enforcement. One had only been recently released from prison for similar offenses. Investigators believe the lab was part of a larger organized crime group operating in the region.
New data from NetScout, an American cloud security company, shows that countries in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa accounted for nearly half of all global cyber attack targets in the first half of 2025. Worldwide, more than 8 million digital attacks were recorded. According to the NetScout report, most attacks caused service outages lasting between 5 and 15 minutes, mainly affecting telecom providers in Germany, France, Poland, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. EMEA countries were hit by 3.2 million distributed denial of service or DDoS attacks. NetScout also noted that growing use of artificial intelligence has made it easier to launch such attacks, helping criminals craft phishing emails, crack passwords, and steal credit card data. Poland is reaching for the stars. The country's defense minister has welcomed a new mission control center at the Military University of Technology in Warsaw. It's the first facility in Poland capable of conducting independent satellite operations. Sonia Gatabishan takes us a step closer to the final frontier.
Poland is reaching for new heights. On Thursday, the Military University of Technology in Warsaw held the grand opening of the Satellite Mission Control Center. The Polish Defense Minister, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, welcomed the development.
The Polish army is present in space, and its presence will become even more significant in the coming weeks and months. Today's opening and launch of the Satellite Mission Control Center marks a key moment in gaining the ability to observe, influence, and, above all, ensure security.
Space is the limit.
Until now, Poland has relied on foreign suppliers for image data. We are now able to run satellite missions that generate this image data ourselves, achieving full autonomy.
The Mission Control Center is accompanied by the newly built ground station, designed to support observational satellite missions. It consists of a Legion 400 antenna enclosed in a special dome, which is intended to protect the system from unfavorable weather conditions and to ensure high-quality radio connection. In turn, the system is able to communicate with satellites. In fact, the event included a demonstration of a connection with satellite by a Finnish company, ISI, co-founded by Poland's Rafał Modrzewski, who highlighted the importance of public-private partnerships in pursuit of security.
We've been working together with Ukraine for 3 years to ensure its security and to win the war. I think today's event is a very important step towards securing Poland's future, and as a company, we are very grateful that we were able to do this.
Thanks to this project, the Military University of Technology became the first and so far the only institution in Poland to have not only the equipment but also the competence to conduct satellite operations independently. From Warsaw, for TVP World, I'm Sonia Gatabishchan.
A 2,000-year-old Roman reservoir in Satala, Turkey, is still in use today, supplying water to the local village. The structure stands as the testament to the lasting legacy of Roman engineering in the region.
The ruins of Satala reveal the only surviving remains of a Roman legion camp from the empire's eastern frontier in Anatolia.
One of the least known, yet undoubtedly the most important structure of Satala is the Roman pool. Just as it provided water for Roman legionnaires 2,000 years ago, today it continues to supply water for the people of Sadak village.
For nearly 2 millennia, the structure has been in continuous use. Around 20 years ago, villagers covered the pool with a metal roof and sealed it with bricks to prevent moss, preserving the vital water source.
We have developed a project proposal here. We have completed the surveys and will design a more aesthetic and functional covering system for the superstructure.
With restoration underway to improve the use of the ancient pool, the locals remain dedicated to protecting it as an important part of their cultural heritage.
And with that, we conclude this edition of World News, but please stay tuned. We have World Talks coming up next.